Chapter 12 is all about three-dimensional shapes. Everything that we've done up until this point has been two-dimensional shapes, length and width, things like that. Now we're going to have three-dimensional shapes, so I'll be showing you some pictures to kind of represent them. I'll also bring in some solids and let you see what they look like. Polyhedron is a special type of three-dimensional shape. It's made of a two-dimensional shape of polygons, and it doesn't have any curves. So, like, a soda can would not be a polyhedron because it's got a curved edge. Okay, so these are strictly all flat sides of different shapes. Polyhedrons have different parts. There's a face. A face is one of the polygons that make up the shape, so it's a side. An edge, that's where two polygons meet and they form a straight line. And the vertex is where the endpoints of edges meet. Okay, so the vertex of the polygon is also the vertex of the polyhedron. So here's kind of a picture of a three-dimensional solid. You can see the faces here. Here's a pentagon that's making up one face of my polyhedron. Here's a triangle that makes up another one. Okay, so I've got lots of faces. Edges are these lines where the two shapes are meeting. Those are edges. And then vertices are the corners. Okay, so kind of the X's where the shapes meet. This is pronounced Euler. Euler's theorem. He's a famous mathematician. He came up with a relationship between the faces, vertices, and edges of polyhedron. And he said if you add the faces and the vertices together, that's always going to equal the edges plus 2. So if we have a cube, okay, a cube has 6 faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just like a die. It has 8 vertices. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 4 more on the bottom. And it's got edges. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the top. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the sides. And 1, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom. So if I take faces plus vertices, it's edges plus 2. 14 equals 14. All right, the types of polyhedra that we'll mostly be working with are prisms and pyramids. A prism has the same polygon as the top and the bottom, and it's connected by rectangular sides. So this would be a rectangular prism, because if you look, you can really look at it either way. I could use this shaded side as a base. This opposite side is the same exact shape, and then the sides are all different types of rectangles. I could also make this the base. This top would be the other base, and then I'd still have rectangular sides. Rectangle. This looks like a square, but remember, a square is still a rectangle. Okay, so that one, it doesn't matter which way you turn it. This hexagonal prism, it does matter which way you turn it. So the hexagons are my bases, and then I've got rectangular sides that connect all the sides of the bases together. Here's a pentagonal prism. Okay, so I've got pentagons top and bottom, and then I've got rectangular sides. So I could have a nonagonal prism, a 9-sided base on top and bottom. Pyramids have a polygon base and triangular sides that all meet at a point. So here's a pentagonal pyramid, because I've got a pentagon on the bottom, and I've got triangular sides that all meet at the point. Here's a rectangular pyramid. Okay, so it's important that you guys can identify prisms and pyramids. Some non-polyhedral shapes that we'll be dealing with are going to be cylinders. Okay, so they're Very similar to prisms, except we have circular top and bottom, and we don't have rectangles connecting. We just have one nice smooth connected side. A cone is kind of the non-polyhedra equivalent of a pyramid. I've got a circular base and then a nice smooth connection all the way around with a pointy top. And then I've got a sphere. A sphere is all the points that are equidistant from a single point, which is the center. So this is the three-dimensional equivalent of a circle, because a circle, I've got a point, and then the circle is all the points that are equidistant from that. If I do that in 3 dimensions, okay, then I get a sphere. Every point that's on the sphere is the same distance away from the center. Okay, so these are the shapes we'll be dealing with mostly. Prisms, pyramids, cylinders, cones, and spheres in this chapter. So the first job you'll have is just to identify the different shapes and name them accordingly.